don't know if you want to put any of that on the video.
We will probably cut that out.
I'll watch it every once in a while.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Dylan Wu with the Austin Beacon. I am seated here today with Dr. Morgan Marietta, who is the Dean of Economics, Politics, and History here at the University of Austin. Thank you for speaking with me today. Yeah. So I wanted to ask firstly, because you have a bit of a unique story in coming to UATX. I'm curious to hear what are kind of the decisions or events that happened that made you come and decide, like, I'm going to build a new university. I'm going to be a part of that.
There's a long version and there's always a short version. I see the radical mission of the University of Austin to be honest. We have a radical purpose, which is to actually tell the truth as individuals see it. This should not be radical. This should not be unusual. It is, in fact, the old line purpose of universities. But that is a radical mission now, because it is not done. Honest is what we are after. And that's why I came here, because I actually, for a long time, became more and more, not just disappointed in the institutions and in the people in them, but in myself. Yeah, I became fundamentally not proud of myself.
I see.
Because I was lying too much. And I wanted to stop. And that's why I'm here. Because we actually need institutions in which people are not coerced to do that.
So UATX is, in a sense, like a cleansing experience for you? Or?
Well, I think that's the idea of the university. I think that is the purpose of it. You can frame it a lot of different ways. You can talk about the pursuit of truth. You can say that we want the liberty to really look at the full range of evidence. We want to be able to make the full range of argument. We actually want the conversation. We actually want people to disagree with us and challenge our ideas. We don't want just the echo chamber of the agreement that is expected. So most faculty have learned to follow the script, and they will say in private things that are very different than they say in public. And my experience with it is that I had conversation after conversation over the years, and this has been true for about 20 years, and it's gotten really bad in the last 10 and horrifying in the last 5. Post-COVID, it became just utterly intolerable that you would speak to faculty and you would see them say things in public, and they would say these things and you would think, wow, Jane really believe that? Does Bob really believe that? And then they would talk to you afterward, and they would tell you that they don't believe it. They're just going along because they know they have to go along, and they don't have the courage. The lack of courage of American faculty is shocking. And the broad reason that I came to UATX is I got tired of listening to people lie.
There's this notion, oh, no, everything's fine. This is totally normal.
Yeah, no,
this is the way the society goes, right? You're weird for thinking that this is not normal, and then you're like looking around. I was like, "What do you really like? Am I crazy?"
Yeah,
right?
It's funny you mention the accusation of weird. That has become a common thing in our politics just at the moment.
Yes.
And you understand that is a representation of where we have gone wrong.
Right.
What it's saying is that the culture of high school conformity should be the political culture.
Right.
That the thing that people in high school don't want to be is weird. Weird has no content to it. It's just an empty accusation that is more effective because it's empty. Stop and think about that for a moment. If you could actually refute being weird or creepy with any kind of evidence, it wouldn't be as effective. And the second thing that's horrible about it is that it is about being frightened. And the younger generations in America right now are deeply frightened. They're anxious and frightened. One of the things they're anxious and frightened about is that they'll be socially ostracized because they're weird. All of the evidence, all the psychology says that the way to deal with fears is to slowly introduce yourself and build up and become a stronger and less fragile person. But universities seem to have decided that fragility is what they're trying to build, and hence they're building fragility. We don't build fragility here. We actually build people who can look at things that upset them. Education is upsetting. My education was upsetting. It should be upsetting. You should walk in and hear things you haven't heard before. You should walk in and hear things you don't agree with. You should walk in, you should meet people that are very unlike other people that you have met. You should be unsettled. It should be hard.
Right.
No one will be shouted down, but they might be shown to be wrong. And this will make people better and better and stronger instead of weaker and weaker and more foolish and unable to distinguish when somebody is playing them by accusing them and other people of being weird in order to manipulate them.
Right.
One of the catchphrases that I've picked up over time is that smart people understand what they think, but really smart people understand what other people think. And if you don't understand that other people have different values and different perceptions of the world than you do, you won't know when they're playing you.
Yeah.
You won't know when they're using words like weird and creepy to make you do things they want. Right. To conform you. That's high school conformism. As they say, every American high school has an implicit motto. And do you know what it is?
No.
Get him, he's different. The implicit motto of every American high school is get him, he's different. And the goal of university is to break you out of that, is to put you into a world where no one is trying to conform you in this way, where you actually can develop and be shown different ideas and alternatives, and you can become the person that you really ought to become. It also should be described from many different perspectives, and you shouldn't just be hearing mine on this. You should be hearing a multitude of them and actually engaging in these things in public, under pressure and under contest and questioning. And that is what universities are designed to do. And that's really what we're trying to achieve.
So then it seems like you have this belief that one of the purposes of university is to be kind of this crucible where you are forged through fire and brimstone.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, there should be fire. There should be brimstone, not in the religious sense. The reason that so much of campus life has become boring and has become humorless, two things that UATX is not. The reasons are, on the one hand, ideological, about wokeness destroying humor and discussion. And the other one is consumerism. Like, what do you want as a student? You want things that are interesting, that are enlivening. But if you're an administrator, what do you want? You want things that are interesting, enlivening, which also cause trouble, which are also a pain in the arse. And those problems can spill over into negative media events and protest and issues and people taking offense. And it will make you think that people might take some of their dollars and put them someplace else. So the real truth is university administrators have every incentive to have a placid and quiet campus.
Right.
Why? Because a calm campus is a profitable campus, but the university is boring and heartless. But most administrators have that set of incentives. So to have courage then and actually decide that education and a really vibrant environment is worth some personal risk of things not going well, and realizing that it's not your butt if there's some sort of issue and you're actually supported by your university, then you can actually have courage, and they don't. But what I'm really getting at here is that if there is social pressure to just forego the good parts of it, a lot of students will do that because they already know they're getting the other parts. Especially if really engaging in discussion and ideas hurts that social part. This is the trick that has been played on most students. They realize that their prospects of dating, their prospects of friends, their prospects of just getting along will be lessened if they go against the dominant culture of the university.
Right.
And most people just won't do that.
So then the call of UATX is, in a sense, to build that institution, build that university experience for those people. That if you are fine with, going to a normal school and not speaking your thoughts, then go right ahead, but know that you have this option out here. You have UATX.
That's right. No, that's exactly right.
That provides you with that freedom.
That's right. Where you will have the opportunity to speak your mind.
Right.
And it's not that we're interested in people who are only firebrands.
Right.
We're interested in people who have all sorts of interests and endeavors. The other remarkable thing about UATX, well, actually there's a lot of them, but the classical education in the first couple of years, the opportunity to engage in entrepreneurship, the idea of the Polaris project that encompasses the whole 4 years, and you have this long scope, the talent network that we're attaching people to. It's really, it's ridiculous, the opportunities on a per capita basis that will be given to UATX students because of all of the things that we're attaching students to. The idea is that if you are in this environment and you get to see and hear all of these things, you really will become someone who understands other people's minds. You really will develop these skills of argumentation and discourse, and then you can do whatever your heart calls you to. Yeah.
We are about a month away from starting classes.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you hope or want to see faculty and students collaborate and achieve together during the first year?
A lot of things. I want the culture to be one of ordinary conversation and discussion among the faculty, among the students. It is not a contradiction to say that one has respect for people who happen to be older and more knowledgeable and have studied more and more experience, and you call them professor and you give them some kind of respect, but you also have an ease with them, and you can have conversations.
I can joke with you.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Well, I hope that is maintained. I am hopeful that a lot of scholarly and research projects are going to develop among student collaborators and among students and the faculty. I'm deeply hopeful that the Austin Union is going to become an entrenched institution of public debate and civil debate in the way that it should be done. It shouldn't be hostile in this way. I might even admit that you're right about some things. Probably not, but I might, right? You might do the same.
We'll see, yeah.
You never know about these things.
Gotcha.
Civility could be, civility could return, but at least I want to have an island of civility, and I want to have an island.
I'm actually looking forward to the disagreements more than I am to the agreements.
Yeah, no, that's right, because they actually are productive in this remarkably important way. I'm also hopeful that it will become recognized for what it is, that we have built something remarkable here of how universities ought to be, but inspire other universities to actually adapt to what we're doing, because we're the ideal.
Right.
They are fallen. They have become corrupt institutions because actual universities that have open inquiry, civil discourse, freedom of conscience, that will become the new standard. And that is what I'm looking forward to.